Hi everybody, it's Matt from Trailbreak.net. Uh, I'm coming to you today because somebody had a question about profiles and I wanted to make a little video to kind of show you how it all comes together and works. And what I'm going to do here is grab um, this picture that somebody had posted up that they did in another data system, and they weren't really sure how to do this in an AIM environment. So what I wanted to do is show you how you can lay out a similar one. I didn't go through to do all the math channels that they have, but we're going to see how we can make the same thing and they can make it. So what I have is a file in Race Studio 2 that I opened up that I have some math channels in that I was going to start making this. So one of the keys as we start to do this is when we go under File and then Set User Profile Preferences in Windows. And we have to make sure this button that enables multiple views is checked off. So then, once we've done that, we can start laying out multiple measures and reports and everything else as we want them. So going back and looking at what we had, the first thing we had was in the top left, we have a GPS map. So we can take our GPS map. If you're not sure how to get this displayed right from the beginning, up here in the towards the top left, we have a GPS data button. So we can click that and it pulls up our map. And then the way we change what's displayed on here is in the graph. So when we've selected the GPS map, we can click it. And then out of our list of all the channels and math channels that we have, we can pick something to put on there. So I'm going to go through. I have a lot of channels here, so we got to look a little bit. And we can pick brake pressure. We can apply it and take a look, and we can see here's our graph of brake pressure. Exit it. Now we have it. If we want to rotate it, it's with these buttons up here. So I'm going to spin it around, get it where we want, roughly. We can zoom in a little bit, and we have our first element. And then when we look at theirs, the next thing we see is a couple graphs here, and we see one of them's time on brakes and another one's another comparison. So if we want to do that, we can take our measures chart that opens up when we first start or we first open a file, and we can put on there. So I have a channel here that is pretty similar, that I have miles on the brakes. And as we look for that in all of our channels here, we have brake miles. We can turn off our speed that we have displayed here as we find it. And we can turn on our scale. It's a little checkbox to the side. We can auto scale it, and we see because this lap is one that's from the middle, it counts total miles in this channel, but we see it went from a low of about 6 up to about 7. So we can compare something like that. And where he had 2 sets of graphs over here, what we can do is we can make this and add another option. So a channel that I had seen in here is we have one that's full time on the throttle. So another one that might be good, and it looks like that one wasn't measuring, so maybe there's a problem in there. So maybe we take something quick and we just pick over rev feet. We have it on its own graph. We turn this on, and we can see where the car over revved. And maybe we make that over rev feet. But we can put whatever we want. We can configure this how we like it and do that. So that was in here. We can size this window like any regular application. And then the next one, we see we had this segment time report. So to get a segment time report, we can go up here. And what's nice is when you hover over a button, it will tell you what is in there. So if we look, we have a segment time report. We click the button. This one is the AIM generated segments, so there's a lot of them because it's the auto generation. But we can move that up here. We can size it in a little bit. Squish this one, get it where we want it, and then we have kind of our next two elements. And we can tidy these up as you do them, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to do it a little bit quicker and not put those in. The next thing is he has a longitudinal G graph down here. So if we want to add that, now what we can do is we can go back and select another measures plot. And it will come up and ask us, do we want to activate or close what we have? But what we want to do is add a new one. And you can label it. A lot of times I don't, but I'm going to type in here long G. You say OK. And now you can see we have two separate longitudinal G graphs. And these will allow us to put different measures on each of them. So when we select this one, we can turn off overrev feet, we can turn off brake miles, and we can go in and let's put GPS longitudinal acceleration. We'll turn on the graphic numbers. We're going to make it a little bit of a better color. And I'm going to do some more videos to help folks out with all this. And we can put it all together, scale it a little bit better. And let's move that down here, sort of like Malcolm had it. So now we see, pretty quick, we've built up a very similar item. The last one he has in here is a channel report. So if we want to do a channel report, again, we can go to the buttons up top, hover over it, tells us it's a channel report. We could also hit Control F4, or we could go to View and pick out of the list of everything in here. So we can go to Channel Report, and pulls up a channel report. We can size this into our space, just like regular windows. And then once we have it, we can choose through this Add Remove button what options we have. And there's some great options. I'm going to do another video on channel reports. But for right now, we have speed. Let's take that out. We can click these, remove them all. And then I think in his report that I was looking at, we maybe had things similar to what we had in some of the other graphs. So we can do something like, let's go back, we'll put average speed. That might be something you want to look at, or max speed. And we can put those into the graph. We can pick something like brake miles, and we can put the min and the max, and then we'd see this change over every lap. Once we pick all these items, we say OK, and it'll add them to the channel report. And then in that channel report, if we want to make it a histogram, so we get a visual behind our data, we can turn these on as well. This data, it might not help as much, but it's a nice feature that you can see as we do these. When you click on it, you can change the scaling of it, if it goes from max to min or min to max. So it's not really the scaling, but the display. So there's all those options that you can do in there and get that channel report set up just how you like it. So now you can see pretty quickly we built a very similar screen. And you can put whatever data you want in here. And then the real power in the software comes from user profile. So in our measures and laps window on our top left, we have user profiles. And what's really wonderful about this is we spent some time, we got this kind of how we want it. And then what we want to do is add a profile. So we click the plus sign, and then we assign it a name. And I'm just going to name video profile. And we can save all of our current settings, and then we say OK. So we have this that we like, and then we say, well, maybe we're showing somebody something, and we close some of these, we make this a little bit bigger. We change it, we say, oh geez, I'd really like to have the satellite count because I was worried I didn't have good satellite connection. So we pulled this up, and in doing it, we close the GPS and we go, oh man, I'd really love to go back and see this profile, how I have it. So you can go back to that user profiles. On the bottom, we see it, and we can click the double arrow, and it loads us back to the exact same profile. It puts everything right back where you had it with the same information displayed. And what's powerful about this is these profiles carry across all of your data files, all of your test sessions. So when you go in and you open up a different day's file, you have this screen that you can have in all of them. So it's a very powerful way to automate your data analysis. The ones I use a lot is I've made ones for speeds in the car. I've made ones for cornering. I've made ones for, I like to look at GPS elevation. So I've made one where I have my GPS elevation and I use the GPS map. Something powerful you can do in it that I'll give you a little preview here is we can flip the map and get a 3D view of what we're looking at. I use one for my braking performance. And you can see if I want to go back to speeds, I can click speeds. If I want to go back to cornering, I can click cornering. This makes your analysis so much faster. And not just with your graphs, but I use them for data that I might want to export. So I can put all the data in and then I can export it. I can do the same thing with my tire temps because I have tire temps in this car. Or if we go back to the one we just made, we can make it here. And it puts up all our data in the same display that we had it. And then as you change this, if you say, geez, I'd really like this to always be, I'll make that smaller, this graph is kind of too big. Maybe I don't want the channel report in here, I want one big graph. So as you change it, if you want to save it and change that profile, you can click the floppy disk icon and save it. So the next time you go and you want to do this, you can click load it, and it'll load that profile just as you saved it. So it's a great way to set up and automate your data collection tasks a little bit in your review so that you have it in all different ways. And you can see I have a big list over here of all the different ones I use, including some reports for TPMS and all different items. So I hope this helps you out. I hope it gives you some idea into how the profiles work and how to lay out some different windows. If people have questions, please feel free to post them up to me, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or through an email. You can find me at trailbreak.net. The shopping site's at trailbreak.com. And then my email's matt@trailbreak.net. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped you out.